else, and so I'm doing a pre-recording on this, and I just want to talk to you about what's going to be happening this Sunday. And we're going to be working on our spiritual hearts for the first 3 weeks of this new year. I guess we don't count, last week was New Year's Day, we had a little special service, but as far as our message series, and we're going to begin looking in for this in the book of Numbers, which is part of our reading. And if you wanted to read ahead, let me just sort of put our screen over here on this. You'll see that we have the second Passover in Numbers 9, which means the first Passover was in Egypt, so it's the second Passover. It's a year since they've been on the road, so to speak, in the wilderness wandering, and they're about ready to go to the promised land in that. And Numbers 9, and we're going to go all the way. This talks a little bit about what's going on in their lives, some problems that they have going on, and various things. But when we get to chapter 12 here, 13, see, we get the 12 scouts explore Canaan, all right? And so we get to the idea of the scouts going into the promised land, and they come back, and there's 12 of them. 2 give a good report, 10 give a bad report. And we're going to work on the scripture in chapter 14, I think verse 23-ish, somewhere around there. We're going to work on what the hearts were being declared there in this passage. And what's interesting here, if you know anything about the book of Hebrews sort of elaborates on this section, on the dangers of a heart that's not for God, okay? And so we're then going to go to Hebrews and spend a couple weeks in Hebrews, I think chapter 3 and then chapter 12, looking on this thing of the heart and trying to get an understanding of what our spiritual heart condition are and what our needs are of grace in God with our hearts. So anyway, so what you can do ahead of time, if you want to read from chapter 9, which again, this is part of our reading, we'll be reading ahead a little bit, 9 through 14, if you read those chapters 9 through 14, you'll be doing a little prep work. And this, when we talk about the heart, we're also talking about our faith. Faith and heart go together. And we got to make sure our faith and heart and our head and all those things sort of align. But the heart, I believe, is the starting place. It's the starting place of our salvation. Sometimes we sort of get confused. We think, okay, I understand this. I got it. I'm saved. Well, I do not believe that salvation. Salvation is when you believe in your heart. Confess in your heart that Christ, when you trust Jesus for the work that he's done. And so we got to continue to trust, not only at the moment of salvation, but as we understand and expand God's salvation, our trust and our faith in God needs to grow and needs to mature and become complete and full. I'm going to use the word full because we'll look at that word this Sunday. Anyway, so I just want to let you know what we're going to be looking at, and maybe you can sort of orient yourself with the story. I'll share parts of it with you, and we'll talk about it, and we'll work through this month. Welcome to the new year. Happy New Year. Hope it's off to a good start. Have you already bombed on your New Year resolutions? I like the word goal myself. Goals for the year. Put something out there and say, I'd like to, at this point, have this done. And yeah, do that. And hopefully you're getting along. The weather's been beautiful, hasn't it? It has been beautiful. Anyways, I'll see many of you on Sunday. Thank you for taking time to listen to me this evening. Peace and love.